Stockade. You're listening to the ECWF podcast. And if you don't, I'm going to come for you. And remember, when this devil gets a hold of you, you don't come back.
I feel no pain. Fields of war which fuel my veins. In the air, sun, I was once like you.
All right, welcome to episode number 8 of the ECWF podcast. I'm your host, Sean Bicking, with my co-host,
Ryan Cowanage.
and we are coming to you live from the Honda Civic studio. And on this episode, we have Blockade, the Devil's Outlaw.
Get the F out.
All right, we're here with Stockade on the podcast. How you doing, buddy?
Doing fine. How are you?
Good. And where are you at? You're in New York?
Yeah, New York. Actually, Long Island, Deer Park. At the actually, right now I'm at the NYWC training facility that was founded by Mikey Whipwreck.
Oh, okay. That's your training school too?
I'm one of the head trainers now, alongside Tony Nese of the Evolve Dragon Gate fame,
Oh, okay.
or Anthony Nese, however people know him as.
Okay. And is that where you yourself trained also?
Yeah, I was trained by Mikey Whipwreck in September of 2004. When we actually are in a new building now. I was actually in a different building, but I was trained by Mikey, man, at least a good 6 years, and then Mikey moved to Pennsylvania. I was trained then by a guy named Crusher Dugan, who was trained by Boris Malenko, Dean Malenko's father. So I got training under him. And then Mike Mondo from the Spirit Squad came around, and I was trained a little bit by him. And now me and East are actually take over, and now I'm one of the head trainers.
Nice. All right, growing up, were you like a big wrestling fan?
Oh, absolutely, man. I vividly remember being like, I had to be like either 5 or 6 watching wrestling. And one of the moments that hooked me as a kid was seeing, and it's not even, it's a wrestling moment, but it's not like a match or anything. It was when Jake Roberts had the King Cobra bite Macho Man, and for some reason, that moment hooked me as a kid. I don't know what it was or why, but that was the moment where I was like, I want to do this. You know, I've always been a comic book fan, so wrestlers to me are like real life superheroes. So that on top of that moment, I've been hooked, man.
Nice. And like, was Jake like one of your favorites growing up, you said, or?
Yeah, like Jake was one of my favorites. I actually remember being like 2nd or 3rd grade, and a kid had a bunch of the old the Hasbro figures, you know, like where Hulk Hogan would do like the one movement, or like Shawn Michaels' head would bob down and he'd jump off the top rope. He had Jake Roberts, and I remember going to Toys R Us and buying Jake. It's always been Jake Roberts. It's never a Hogan or a Savage guy. I mean, I respect their work and what they've done, but Jake's always been like my guy. And then from Jake, it was Undertaker, and then so forth.
Right. Now, were they LJN figures, if I'm not mistaken?
No, it was. I think they were the Hasbro's. Like they were doing the little, maybe like 5-6 inch figures, and like, you know, Hogan did like he had his hands open. And
Oh,
he did
okay,
the
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Did you play any other sports growing up?
I was an amateur wrestler. I went to counties in my 11th grade year, whatever that is, junior, senior. I don't even. Oh, not senior. I played football. I was a catcher in baseball from the time that we were able to be a catcher, so after T-ball, straight through my senior year. So I played a couple sports. I also played paintball. I also skateboarded when I was younger. So I was always active doing something. But I always wanted to do wrestling, just that you never know how to get into it. You know, like when I was growing up, the internet still was kind of new, so it really wasn't like prevalent. Mm-hmm. And I lucked out one day and, you know, found wrestling.
Now, was like, there a certain moment or something that you saw that said, like, I want to do that?
I've always wanted to do it. You know, I'm sure, like, I would say, like, 90% of people that are in wrestling, I backyard wrestled with my friends on matches and trampolines. Yeah. I always wanted to do it, you know? But like I said, you know, I didn't know, like, the only wrestling schools I ever heard of was, like, the Monster Factory, the Heart Dungeon. I knew Shawn Michaels had a school, and I think I've heard of OVW at that point, but I never knew about wrestling schools. And I remember I was 17 years old, and the Chris Benoit DVD came out, and the exact comment he said was, I didn't want to be 40 years old saying what if. And I told my mom this is what I want to do, and she found a wrestling school called Critical Mass, which was closed down, but it was owned by John Curse, who is one of the owners of NYWC, said, hey, we're reopening in September 2004. Come sign up. The rest was history.
And how old were you then?
I signed up at 17.
17?
Yep.
Okay. All through high school, though, like, yeah, like a certain group of friends, like wrestling fans, or were it just you, anything like that?
I mean, well, like when the Attitude Era came around, like everyone was into wrestling.
Right.
And that was like, I was in like 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And then everyone kind of fell out of love with it, but I stuck with it. So yeah, during the Attitude Era, I had friends, I remember like we had wrestling parties and stuff. But no, I think I was one of the only ones that stuck through it straight through, till now. I'm still a fan.
Right. And you want to talk about a little bit training you mentioned before?
Yeah, training was fucking brutal, bro. It was the hardest thing I ever did in my life, man. Mikey was brought up by a guy named Sonny Blaze, but then basically was polished like Taz. And I think if you ever heard any of those stories about Taz's training, it was, hardcore. It was down, bare bones, and it was no joke. And Mikey trained us the right way. And when I joined in the first class of 2004, I'm still here, and nobody from my original class is still here. I'm the only one, and that was a group of 10 of us.
Really?
And I'm sure I'm the last person, staying with would stay. But it was physical, man. Running around the building, suicides. Mikey would make us do steps, which is basically like on a chair, so like a regular folding chair. And he would have 10 chairs. How many people? 8 people, 10 people, whatever it is. We would do steps, and do steps for 10 minutes. And honestly, doing steps for 10 minutes, it's rough, but it's not a killer. But the moment somebody would go out of unison, start all over. And I remember doing steps for about an hour and a half straight, because we were all over them. And it wasn't to punish us or torture us. It was to build up character, to build up heart, who really wanted to be here. And that was the big thing that Mikey wanted. Like, it didn't matter if, you had 6-pack of abs or whatever. It was the heart. That's what's going to make you a better wrestler. And that's what it taught me.
I was going to say, that's like his whole MO. Like, he wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but...
No, that's coming from Taz. Neither was Taz. But it was about, I remember Mikey telling me when Taz ran House of Hardcore, Paul Heyman told Taz, he doesn't care about making money. He doesn't care about anything. He just wants guys. He wants to get guys, produce guys that want to be in wrestling and love wrestling and want to do this. And that's what Mikey's philosophy is. Yeah, making money is great, and obviously you have to do. Sometimes you have to bend a little bit to, make people happy. But finding people that want to do this and have the heart for it, that's the difference. It's like anything. If you don't have a heart for being a baseball player, you're not going to put your effort in. He wants people that have a heart, and obviously I'm one of the guys because Mikey's now. I look at him as a father figure, so I earned his respect.
Right. Was there ever like a backup plan? You said like playing different sports, or like it was always wrestling no matter what?
I was supposed to get a scholarship to Syracuse for playing football, and I unfortunately blew out my knee when I was 17. Right before I played wrestling. I didn't need any major surgery, but it was enough for the scholarship to be like, yeah, we're not too fond of that. So they kind of were negged on that. So there was going to be the football thing, but all I wanted to do was wrestle, man. Like even through collegiate wrestling and football, like I loved it, and I love those sports, but nothing had my heart like wrestling. Like nothing was like I wanted to wrestle. Like sometimes going to practice was like, oh, I gotta go to practice. You know what I'm saying? It felt like a job. Wrestling to me never felt like a job.
Right. What position did you play in football?
I was straight through high school. Syracuse came down and scouted a few people, and I was one of the people they were scouting. It wasn't on a full ride. It was on basically a 50-50 type ride.
Okay. Do you remember your first match at all?
Yes, I do. First official match was April 2005 against a guy named Mike Spinelli at NYWC, Deer Park, Long Island.
Going in, you were nervous?
Oh my God, dude! I'm still nervous all the time. But yeah, that night was rough, man. I had probably the worst gear in the history of the business. I had baggy pants and a singlet, and I was like some rip-off Undertaker generic, I'm wearing baggy pants guy. And we did the match, and the reason we got the match was me and Spinelli. We would go to the gym together. We would always watch things, so we came up with some ridiculous spot that ended in a spear where he would take like a shooting star out of it. We showed it to Mikey, and he's like, yeah, and we showed it to Mikey during training. He goes, that's great. You guys are booked next show. And we're like, what? Like our jaws are on the floor. So now we're basically shitting ourselves. We do the match. We come into the back, and Mikey's the first person at the locker, right out through the curtain in the back. He goes, come with me. And we're like, oh, fuck, we fucked up. We're screwed. We're never wrestling again. He sits us down. He goes, you have fun? We're like, yep. He goes, good. Congratulations. Hands us a beer each. says, congratulations, you're on the roster. Oh, by the way, next month, Stockade, you're teaming with me. Spinelli, you're teaming with this guy, Tony Burma, who's been wrestling for like 6 years. And we were like, what? And my next match, I'm teaming with my trainer, and he's wrestling his trainer.
How long after like you started training was your first match?
I started in September, so my first match was in April, so 7, 8 months.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No, it's like the average,
Yeah.
for, so we open up, we're open 3 days a week, so,
Did you have like a regular daytime job to like pay for wrestling school?
Yeah, I was actually, at the time, I was a assistant manager of Petland Discounts, or it's basically a smaller version of Petco. I don't know if you have them out by you.
Yeah.
But, I was assistant manager of Petland Discounts because I'm a big animal guy. So I was doing that and then wrestling.
Nice. I did see, you just said a big animal guy. I saw you have a pet snake, is that right?
I've had a few snakes. I used to breed ball pythons. I've had things you're not supposed to legally own in the state of New York.
Okay, I don't want to get you in trouble if you can't say anything.
No, I don't have them anymore.
Okay.
But no, I've had like in Pennsylvania, certain animals are legal and other states they're not. But no, I've had reptiles my whole life. I've always been a big. I grew up on a farm in Manorville, Long Island, which is like 2 exits away from the Hamptons, so which is all the way out there. So yeah, I've always been around animals and such.
Okay. And you said your mom was like supportive of you, like wrestling wise, and parents like supportive?
Yeah, no, my mom has always been supportive of anything I've ever wanted to do. I mean, like any mother, she wanted me to go to college, so I did like 2 years at Suffolk County Community College. Just wasn't for me. I remember my stepfather, he was my stepfather at the time, telling me, he's like, listen, the college thing ain't working. Come work for me. He goes, I'll make sure you have time to wrestle, and that's it. So I started working for him. But both my parents, my grandma, my other family, like, aunts and uncles, they didn't understand it. My friends all thought it was awesome and cool. Never ever got told don't do it. My mom, like any parent, don't get hurt. Whether you get hurt, whether you break your neck, yada, yada, yada. But besides that, they've always been supportive.
Have they been out to see you in the matches?
My mom hasn't seen me wrestle in 10 years, actually. She moved upstate to retire. But she's seen clips, and she won't come because of the crazier stuff I've started doing recently. She's actually my second match, the match I teamed with Mikey. It got turned into Mikey, so it got turned into a crazy no DQ hardcore match.
Of course.
The guy that manages me now, Crusher Dugan, who was managing the other guys, was beating me up on the floor. My mom actually hopped the guardrail and fucking tried to deck him. So, yeah, she's not exactly too keen on watching her baby boy, as she said, get his ass whooped.
Right. Okay. And early on, I believe it was like 2005, maybe. You said you started. Like, were you teaming with King Kong Bundy? Is that right? You had a match?
I teamed with King Kong Bundy one time. Yeah, there was a series of matches I did. I did 3 matches. The first one, it was me and King Kong Bundy versus a guy named Spider and Tito Santana. And then from there, I think it was the Warlord was next.
Oh my
and then
God.
it was Dwight the Clown. Yeah, so I got to wrestle 3 legends. Bundy was by far the best out. He's hysterical. Like, he's one of the funniest people I ever met. And then they were trying to get Slaughter, but it never panned out, and the whole like Stockade Wrestles Legends thing kind of faded away.
Yeah.
I was Heath Slater before Heath Slater, so he stole my gimmick.
Okay. Just talk about like working with guys like that, like King Kong Bundy, Tito Santana. Like, what was that experience like so early in your career?
I mean, Bundy, like I said, he was hilarious. Like, Santana came up to me, and I had to have been maybe a year in, and he's like, you're gonna kick out of the burrito. I was like, what? The flying forearm, his finisher. I'm nobody. I'm barely a year in. He's like, kick out of my finish. I'm like, whoa. The Warlord, biggest man, he's giant of a man, insane. He's huge. Yeah, he's like a walking billboard. The funny thing, that match was just kind of like basically a squash. He just came in. He's like, I'm going to throw you around the ring and then powerbomb you. Okay, yes, sir. Bundy actually in the match, he pulls me aside and he's like, kid, go out there and you smack around that wetback for me. And I'm like, what? Like, here's Bundy using racial terms. I'm like, what are you doing? And then Doink, it wasn't Matt Bourne, which I would have loved because I'm a huge fan of Matt Bourne. It was Ray Apollo, who was after Matt Bourne. And all I remember is in full doink regalia in the match, cursing at the referee, basically saying, fuck you, you must, yell because the referee messed something up. And I'm sitting in the corner going, I'm watching Doink use curse words at a ref, and it was just a very surreal moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
learning experience.
Yeah. That Doink character though. I mean, how many guys over the years have played that? Like every indie show you see now, it's like.
There's the I like to call them the Kmart Doinks.
Okay, that's good.
Anyone can just get a Doink costume made, unfortunately, because I guess it's not. I don't know if it's not trademark. I don't know how they get away with it, or maybe they sell it differently, or. But yeah, man, it was the real. Everyone asks, it was Ray Apollo, the real deal.
Yeah. Okay. Earlier today, I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube. Your Hounds of Hatred, like the vignettes you guys had, and you guys were talking about the Big O. Do you could you talk about that a little bit? Because I thought those were really good. Like, I want to say almost like Wyatt family, but you're not going for that. I don't know if you are, but I think it was good.
Well, the whole idea, the whole concept of the Hounds of Hatred, like throughout my career, like I said, I'm a Jake Roberts fan, I'm a Undertaker fan, so my favorite comic book characters are like Ghost Rider and stuff like that. So I've always been, I've always liked the whole idea of the hell, and I've always been it's cool, skulls and stuff like that. I'm a huge horror movie fan. One of my favorite movies is The Devil's Rejects, which is basically if you watch House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, and you know about what I'm doing with the Hounds, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it.
Yep. That's
all it really is. It's basically, we're just an outcasted freaks and devil-worshipping lunatic, whatever. And the whole thing with O was basically, I've been in NYWC for 10 years, man, busting my ass. I never, ever got one shot at the NYWC title, not one. And, O walked through the door because he's Zack Ryder's buddy and all that nonsense, and he's an internet sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they gave him the world, and I had to earn everything. So when it came my time, I did it. I went out there, I won the belt, and the Hounds of Hatred, they're storyline-wise and on-show-wise, they're my flunkies, lackeys, whatever you want to call them, but they're my students. I train them, and they were put with me, and they're learning from me. So for me, it's another rewarding experience of these kids are learning from me. So it's basically I'm in Mikey's role, when I started. So It's kind of like a full circle type of situation where, they're coming to me, I'm helping them. So on that point, it's cool. It's a great experience overall. And they're learning, and honestly, they're going to be the future of this area soon.
Absolutely. Now, with the Big O, was like you had a couple matches against him, right? Like, was that before or after he did the Tough Enough stuff?
I wrestled O.
I mean, I know you did
like twice.
Yeah.
We wrestled where I beat him for the belt, and we did the Psycho Circus. And when I started the feud with him is when he got. I don't know if it's Tough Enough or not even Tough Enough, the preliminaries, whatever it's called.
Right.
So that was around the same time, yeah.
Okay. And you've been in a couple of different stables, right? Like in different tag team variations and stuff. Like, do you wanna?
I'm a faction man.
Yeah.
I like to consider myself.
And
yeah, I've been in a few, man. I'm in the Crusade for Change, which is beyond wrestling's creation. Hounds of Hatred. The Black Circle, we could be here all day with all the facts.
Yeah. You don't have to name them all, that's okay.
I've been in a few.
Now, do you prefer, tag team or singles? Because I know you've been successful in both.
At this point, when I was first starting out, all I wanted to be was a singles wrestler. And the best thing that ever happened to me was being put in a tag team because it humbled my ass, and I got to learn. Because I've always heard from vets, the best singles wrestlers always come from tag teams because you learn it's a harder psychology. But for me, at the point I was at, it was the best thing for me. But you team with someone for 3-4 years, it gets old. You're like, all right, it's kind of like a relationship where you're like, oh, well, I'm not marrying this person. I want to kind of move on and meet other people. Where I'm at now, to me, it doesn't matter because I feel like I've established myself. I kind of made a little bit of a name for myself. So I'm kind of flexible. I'm 12 years in. So, but I prefer singles. Mm-hmm. Tagging, if it's with the right person, I'll tag. If it's with a greenhorn that they say, hey, look, I put this kid with you, we want you to teach him and help him, that's different. But I'm very selective. I team with TJ Marconi a couple places. Me and Matt Tremont have been trying to team, but for some reason, nobody wants to do it. But there's only a handful of guys that I would generally be like, I want to team with them and I want to do this.
And you talked about, training with Mikey and everything. You tagged with him for a while, correct?
Yeah, me and Mikey were 2-time tag champions, which was a surreal moment for me. And, those were fun because it was literally like Mikey would show up and be like, what are we doing? And I'm like, what? Are you calling it? He's like, nope, you go out there and you do it. So I got to learn, I would go out there, the match would be, from my brain, and then Mikey was going to be like, this, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did this right, and you did this wrong. So again, another learning experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I also saw last year the PWI 500. You ranked 400th. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
400 for my first time.
Yeah. Talk about that 400. Feeling.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you talk to people in the business, and they'll be like, it doesn't mean anything. And I think at the end of the day, it really doesn't. I don't think it's a true list because there are names on that list that I've never heard of, and I'm sure there are people going, who the hell is Stockade? But there's some really obscure people. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. It's cool. I'm not going to lie. When I saw my name in there and I saw the magazine, and I own the magazine and it's framed in my house because it is a cool moment. It's just like everyone's like, oh, titles are fake and they're not real. Well, bullshit. It means something. So it's a cool moment, and it's something that, it's definitely a goal. It's something I'm glad I checked off. I didn't care about being number one or whatever. Just being in there and being recognized as, hey, this guy had a good year. This guy's pretty talented. Let's give him a nod. So, to me, it's awesome. But I don't look at it anything more. I don't see myself like, I'm in the PWI 400, pay me more. I don't think it's like that.
Right. No, but I mean, yeah, just like as a fan growing up, like that was the thing. Like,
oh, yeah. No, it's awesome, dude. Believe me, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Anyone that says it's not like on that aspect, because there are guys that never get, there are guys that, believe me, there are guys that are way more talented than me, in my opinion. They're better, better wrestlers, better looking, whatever, more successful that don't get listed or, they're listed. Like, there's a couple guys that I beat out. I'm like, oh, I beat out so-and-so. That's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. But it's cool. I just don't think it's an actual, like, something where people should really take, a serious thing.
Right. Okay. I think February of last year, you wrestled Dan Moff. Is that correct?
At Ace. Yeah, I wrestled Dan Moff at Ace.
You want to talk about that? I mean, because he's, like, to me, like a legend.
It was cool, man. Me and Moff were supposed to wrestle a few times, and it just... I don't want to talk his business. I know he had a falling out with the promoter. I don't know what happened. The things just didn't have the card. And unfortunately, when we did wrestle, he was coming back to the company that he left. And I think he felt a little uncomfortable, like how the boys going to accept me. So I don't think it was the best we could have done. I know there's a lot of push from Beyond Wrestling fans that want to see me and Matt Tremont take on the Hit Squad. So I'm hoping that comes around. Me and him we can really show what we can do. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Moff is... I love Dan Moff. He's someone, when I was first starting out on the indie scene in Ace, he came back around the same time I started there, and he really helped me out and helped me grow. So I have nothing but kind words to say about him.
Cool. Okay, Matt Tremont.
My brother from another mother.
Some of the stuff I was looking at today, like, oh man, I mean, could you just talk about all the crazy different matches, some of them you had with him?
Dude, everyone answers that question. It's like, no, I never want to, I'm a huge Foley fan and Terry Funk, but more of a Foley fan. But I never was like, I want to be a deathmatch guy. I never, I don't mind doing hardcore, but I was never going to be like, glass, light tube, all this. I started to be on wrestling, and Drew Cordero, the booker, was like, ECW is where you belong. And the fans wanted to see me and Tremont because, I'm a big, thick, stocky, tough guy, and Tremont's a big, tough, stocky, big guy. So we were like, all right, let's do it. And it started off, he's like, listen, we're not gonna go crazy. The exact words were, we're not gonna go crazy. I want to show people that the Haas's, the big guys, the Dr. Death type guys, they still exist. I want you guys to show people that you can wrestle. So all of a sudden, we do a couple matches, and he's like, how would you feel about doing a bull rope match? And we're like, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Then the fans are chanting, we want, one more match. And then we do Fans Bring the Weapons, which went crazier. And then the fans are chanting one more match. We're like, Jesus. So then I get a phone call from DJ Hyde, who I know, and he's like, I know you've been trying to get into CZW, and honest to God, it wasn't like something I was like knocking on his door. I mean, I wanted to get there, but I wasn't hounding him. So I was like, no, not really, Deej, but I'm definitely open to it. So he's like, I want to do you and Matt as a tag team. That's a great idea. Get me and Matt. And wound up doing a no barbed wire match, which was one of the scariest matches of my life. Mm-hmm. That match was, you're sitting there waiting for the barbed wire to be put up, and you're just watching it, and it's barbed wire. It's like it's not like, well, he's the face, I'm the heel. Oh well, it's not like it doesn't discriminate, it doesn't care.
Right.
And that match was rough. And I remember talking to Matt. I was like, "Yo, what hasn't been done here in a while?" And we were like, "The cinder blocks." I don't even know how it just came up. And I was like, "Let's do the fucking cinder blocks," because I did them before at NYWC, and we brought them out. And you know, there are people. You know, CCW is a very rough crowd, so there's always going to have their detractors. Some, you know, I think 10% of the crowd didn't like it, but you know, screw them. And then the rest of the crowd was on their feet standing, and you know, from there we did matches in NYWC, and it just kept getting crazy. Till the top it all off was the casket match, where I took a cinder block to the head that damn near ended my career.
Damn. Oh man.
Yeah, we've gone to hell and back, me and him.
Yeah. And were you in CZW just for like a couple matches, or like a long?
I was in CZW for 3 matches. Me and Tremont were told we were teaming, and we were like, cool. I know the whole point. Nick Gage was getting out of jail sometime in the fall, so I was brought in March. We were both under the assumption, well, we would team. DJ Hyde, and I love DJ Hyde, but he's an ass when it comes to booking. I was like, no, you guys are going to team one match, and then you're going to turn on each other. And, you know, the fans completely shit all over it. My Twitter blew up. Tremont's Twitter blew up, about basically bashing DJ. You're a stupid move. Why would you do this? You had a great team on your hands, you know. And that was it. It was 3 matches. And he said, hey, man, we'll be in contact. And I haven't been back in over a year. And it's not because of anything I did. The locker room constantly wants me there. You know, all the guys I'm friends with are like, we don't understand it. But, you know, man, shit happens.
Right. Now, was one of those shows at the old ECW arena?
What was that?
Was one of those shows at the old ECW arena?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah,
I think that was the Ultra Violent Rules match?
Yeah, the Ultra Violent Rules match, which wasn't Ultra Violent. There's a funny story to that, too. It was billed as Ultra Violent, and there was a WSU show beforehand, so all the DJs, girls, WSU girls did a TLC match. So DJ's like, and he comes up to us, he goes, hey, look, this is, you guys, you can't use this, you can't use that, you guys only have chairs, and we had chairs and some cookie sheets, and he's like, and if you guys are bleeding, you can't be on the floor. So it's like, dude, you're billing this as Ultra Violent, and you're tying our hands.
Right.
The match wasn't great. I wound up getting hurt early on doing the elbow drop off the apron. But it was what it was. You know, it was just one of those situations where the fans don't know. You can't be like, hey, look, this is why. Right. Shit happens. You know, it wasn't a great match, but it wasn't, I don't think it was a bad match. But just to be in the ECW arena was, for me, I was like, another, you know, like the PWI 500. Another thing to check off the list. Right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that Ultra Violent match, was there a Christmas tree in there? That was at Beyond Wrestling. That was the Fans Bring Weapons match. Okay. and yeah, that was And you went through it, correct? I went through the Christmas tree. Oh, man. There was a Sega Genesis. There was a Christmas tree wrapped in barbed wire. There was Army men, electric fly swatters. These people brought the most insane stuff. There was a thing of salt. There was styrofoam balls with, not thumbtacks, toothpicks stuck in them, like some crazy stuff where I was like, you people are, you know, people are fucking crazy. What the fuck? Yeah. I think there was Legos in there too. There was Legos. Those things hurt like a son of a bitch. I was going to say, yeah. Everything hurts, man. Dude, yeah, it's definitely. Not you know, I know people are like, oh, you know, these guys, dude, it hurts. It's not like, you know, it's not like I'm going in the back going, yeah, that was great. I mean, you know, I'm beat up from it, man. I'm messed up. I mean, you look at Matt. If you ever seen Matt's destroyed his body. It's brutal. Right. And you said, like, you know, not wanting to do death matches, but sometimes, like, a lot of guys look at that negative because they get, like, pigeonholed and, like, you know, you're a hardcore guy. You know what I mean? And that's what happened to me, believe it or not. You know, I figured, I was like, you know what, I'll do one with Matt. I wanted just to do him at Beyond to show people that, like, the idea was I was stepping up. And Matt was, like, I was the wrestler, Matt was the hardcore brawler. He's stepping up to my level, now I'll step up to his level. It was a respect thing. And then it just grew and grew and grew, and next thing I know, I'm in the ring with Masada. And then I'm in the ring with Danny Havoc. And then I'm in the ring with freaking Nick Gage. And I'm like, how the hell did this freaking happen? Then I'm getting phone calls from you know, companies like, hey, we're doing a deathmatch tournament. And I'm like, no, I'm not a deathmatch guy. Then NYWC is like, hey, we saw you do this with Matt. We're going to book Matt. Will you do the, you know? And it's just one thing after another where it's like, all right, then now I'm kind of not known, like I'm not like match level where people know match, but they know like Stockade, you know, if there's a hardcore match for me, it's kind of like, okay, Stockade's going to do something crazy.
Right. And that show, the show at the ECW arena, were the Young Bucks on that show also?
I believe they were. I think it was the Young Bucks versus OI4K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe that was the match.
And did you bump into those guys at all?
Yeah, I've met Matt and Nick a couple times, and they're cool dudes. You know, they're just regular guys. You know, I know it sounds weird. No fan. You know, I know fans. The guy was like that when I was a fan. I was like, oh my god, did you meet so and so when I first started out? How was so and so? And then you get to that level, and you're like, oh, they're all cool. Like Kevin Steen, one of the coolest dudes I ever met. I've never really met anyone on the indie level that has been an ass. You know, there's been some older vets that are just grumpy, but I never really had a bad experience with anybody. I was like, fuck him.
Yeah. And you were talking about the deathmatch stuff. I mean, have you had any like serious injuries?
The cinder block I took to the head of the casket match of Beyond Wrestling, it put me out the next day. I actually drove home. I was with Eddie Kingston driving home and a few other guys, and I remember Eddie was like, yo, and I was apparently like, the road was like swaying, and it was a solid road. And I was like, guys, I can't drive. Wound up getting home that Monday. I was off. I stayed in bed the whole day. I couldn't even have lights on. The only time I got up was to get some water and go to the bathroom. And I was bad. I went to the doctors. I had a contusion. I had like almost a crack. They said my skull had like a hairline crack in it, but it wasn't like a crack. It was just like a hairline. And I had to wrestle Thursday against Drew Gulak at NYWC. And I honestly, there was if you watch that match, which is on the NYWC on demand, which is $2.99, I have to plug it.
Of course.
But that match is on there, and there's a moment when Drew drop kicks me he drop kicks me, not intentional, and gets me in the head. And from that moment on, it's I don't even remember. I couldn't even tell you I had to watch the match. Like I didn't know I did that. I was out. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't. I shouldn't say this, but if I wasn't cleared to wrestle by a doctor.
I would imagine. Yeah, I was gonna say concussion.
Yeah, so
but
that was the worst one. And then, the cuts and scrapes and, getting stabbed in the head with skewers by Masada, that sucked. Carpet strips, chewing up your body. But nothing, thank God, nothing major.
No surgeries or nothing like that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully not yet.
Hopefully not at all.
No, I mean, I got, normal things like I have a tear, I have a tear in my meniscus. I know I have, some bulging discs and shit like that. But, you just take yourself up, pull yourself together, and, you march forward.
You're a real trooper, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Okay, there was a card Spring Loaded, I think it was called, and a triple threat. I think this was SWA.
SWA.
Triple threat with Len Oddity.
Yes, it was myself, Len Oddity, and Flawless Blake Morris. I believe it was Len's first match back. I don't know if it was his first actual match back from his surgery, or if it was his first match back at SWA. But it was one of those, and we had a blast. I love Len. I personally am a huge fan of Len Oddity. I think he's entertaining. I think he's insane. Yeah, so that was a blast.
Yeah, we just had him on the podcast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's an interesting cat. I had the pleasure of seeing Len, as he called it, his franking cock, which is a nice experience.
Yeah, he was telling us about that.
Somebody brought it up in the locker room, and I was like, what the fuck's a franking cock? And he goes, oh, here, look. And he just drops his fucking drawers and goes, like, thanks, Len. Appreciate it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Len's not hung, though, and I'll probably get pissed for saying that, but Len's not hung. So hope he's listening.
I think he will. He will. Can you talk about wrestling Jay Lethal?
Lethal, it was awesome. That's at Ace, which is Mike Morgan, Mike Morgan, NYWC basically, gave me my start. Mike Morgan was the first guy that gave me my start outside of NYWC, basically got me out in the Indies. And Lethal is basically their Mikey.
Right.
And so getting to wrestle Lethal on that level at Ace as the champion, was kind of like, I wouldn't say Lethal passed the torch, but I kind of feel like I got the nod from Lethal, like, yeah, you're the guy that can kind of lead the locker room when I'm not here, and you're the guy to step up. So that was cool, and all that he's done, dude. I don't know why WWE has not signed him. I don't know if whatever the issues are, but he's without a doubt, one of the best going right now.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I don't want to see him in WWE personally, just because I feel they'd ruin him like they ruin everybody. But
I want to see him. He's my friend. I want to see him make money. So.
oh, he's doing good in ROH.
No, he's doing good, but he's definitely he deserves everything that he's gotten, and where he's at, he deserves 100%. He's one of the hardest working guys I've ever met.
Definitely. Okay, 30-man Rumble. I think there was a couple names in there like Cliff Compton, Matt Striker.
Fibro Wrestling.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was a fun time. There's I think me and Tremont had a little moment again because fans knew Tremont was there, so we had a little brief moment where everyone left the ring and gave us the ring. But and Royal Rumble, who wouldn't want to do them? I really don't. I wish I had some stories about it, but I really don't. Cause,
that's fine. That's fine.
Actually, no. I think TJ Marconi rocked Brooke Danielle and rocked her really good at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I don't really. That was actually. I want to say that was a show right before I went to the hospital with everything.
Right. Okay. I saw a picture on your Facebook. You had one of the titles in the fridge, like a la CM Punk.
Yeah, it was a fusion title. I won the fusion tournament, and we wound up going out, and just like a joke, I was like, let me do a CM Punk thing. But I think I had beer in front of it.
Yeah.
It was just something that he did, and I was like, let me do it too. Really, it's already laughing.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Terry Funk.
Terry Funk is the man. If I grow up and you can be anything close to what he was, I could die a happy man. Dude, Terry Funk, he's Terry Funk. He's God. To me, Terry Funk is the man. There's Jake Roberts and Terry Funk, and that's that's insane to me. Getting to meet him was one of the great, and he is generally he's just so nice. He'll just talk to you, and I got to sit down with him and talk to him for a half hour, and he just talked, told stories, and he's awesome, dude. Anything he's ever done is, to me, I love. I can watch Terry Funk matches, and I can watch Terry Funk promos all day.
Do you have a Terry Funk impression?
No, I don't. I'm a horrible at impressions.
Okay. I know everybody has kind of that.
Everyone has one. I would do it, and it would be so butchered. I'm horrible at impressions. I wish I could do it.
Okay.
Mikey, if you ever get Mikey on your podcast, Mikey Whipwreck has a hell of an impression of Terry Funk.
Yeah, Mike, I can imagine he's spent probably more time than almost anybody with him, right?
Dreamer, I would think so as well, and probably Foley, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I heard the stories of Mikey starting out ECW and Terry kind of took him under his wing and as the young boy and
There's one story I'm sure Mikey wouldn't mind me telling, but there's one story Mikey told me about Terry Funk where they're in the ECW arena, and I forget, it's I think it's early in the morning or whatever, but basically they're doing promos, and then the other side of the arena they're playing bingo because that's what it was. So Terry Funk's doing this promo, and he's like, I got a graveyard over here, and I got a hospital over here, and he's showing his fist, and in the middle promo, all he hears is bingo. He goes, God damn it. So then he starts the promo up again, and you hear bingo again. So that happens 2 or 3 more times, and he goes into the bingo room, and he sits down, and he goes, I got bingo. And the old ladies are throwing their shit at him and everything, and going crazy. And apparently, from what Mikey said, was they were all in the other area, and he's Terry Funk comes running, and he does. If you ever watch Terry Funk run, he's got that hobble step hip, bad hip run, running with these old ladies chasing with canes and walkers. He's going, run for your lives! They're gonna kill us! And they all the ECW 96 era 97 guys are running from a bunch of old ladies with walkers and canes.
You had the Terry Funk impression in there a little bit.
It's there a little bit. Like I said, it's not as good as I've heard.
Right, yeah.
You can't help but do it when you talk about Terry Funk. You do Terry Funk,
yeah. Such a legend. Anything on the road with Terry Funk? I mean, bar
I've never shared the road with him. Unfortunately, okay. I would love to. Like I said, the only thing I remember him saying at NYWC was there was a guy named Mason Rage who was 6'6", big jacked up guy, and Terry took one look at him. He goes, "Oh, if I had your body with my head, the things I could do." And that was
it. You're good at that impression, I have to say.
All right, so it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. You think you were doubting yourself a little bit. Okay, I want to talk a little bit of music with you. I mean, you're a big music fan?
I'm a huge music fan.
I know I saw Aguar when I can't think of the name, passed away.
Recently, about 2-3 years ago, my buddy, one of my best friends, we call him Dirt because he's a dirty motherfucker, but his name's Tommy. He introduced me to Guar, and I became a huge fan of Guar. It's ridiculous. If you never been to a Guar concert, go to a Guar concert. You don't even need to like the music. Just stand there and watch. And it's complete insanity. They crucify people. They eat babies. They kill Justin Bieber or whoever's popular. You get covered in food coloring water, but it's coming out of like fake penises and heads, and it's insanity. And you get drenched, and it's the best thing ever. I actually took Alvin Alvarez, who, if anyone ever knows who Alvin Alvarez is, he's, Kanye West. He's big into R&B and stuff. And I took him to a Guar concert, and he damn near shit himself.
Culture shock, almost.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah, that, from what I heard, I haven't been, but that's like a whole sideshow.
Yeah, Guar, I'm a huge, Black Label Society. Zach Wild's like my idol. I'm a huge Black Label Society fan. I got Zach Wild's guitar tattooed on me and stuff, and I met Zach a few times, but that's my band, like, that Black Label Society. Even in my personality and everything, you can see Zach Wild. I'm just a huge Black Label fan.
Hey, I don't know, bud. We're kind of wrapping this up here. Do you have anything else you want to throw out there? I mean,
No, you got anything else, man, you want to ask? Go ahead, feel free, bro. I got,
current NYWC champion, right? A big no DQ match coming up this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm the NYWC champion, and I am the quote-unquote uncrowned SWA Pride champion, who I will be defending my belt, whether they like it or not, against Falaba in a no DQ match, and I will be winning my SWA title.
What do you mean uncrowned? What does that mean?
I stole the belt.
Oh, okay.
their champion, Mike Magnum, or whatever the hell his damn name was, he decided he didn't want to be a wrestler anymore, so he left to go play a stuntman with Batman or Gotham. So I said, you know what, he basically took his ball and went home because he couldn't hang, and I said, screw it, I'm going to be the champion because this is my building. And that's what I did.
Nice. Okay. Okay, for the people who maybe never seen any of your matches or maybe never heard of you, how would you sell them on Stockade?
If you're a fan of pro wrestling, you want to watch Stockade match. You want to see something crazy and wild, you want to watch a Stockade match. If you're a fan of the old school Jake Roberts mixed with a little Terry Funk, mixed with a little Mick Foley, mixed with a little bit of Stan Hansen, you want to watch a Stockade match. You know, I'm not the best, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, but I guarantee you pay your money to come see me, I promise you I will entertain you at the very best I can.
All right. Any plugs you want to throw out? Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that?
Yeah, man. Twitter at Stockade SDMF. Instagram at Stockade SDMF. You can find me on Facebook at Joe Stockade. And check out NYWC, Ace Pro Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling, CZW, SW, wherever the hell I am. I'm everywhere. So just come to one of the shows. Google Stockade, find out where I am. Come see me, buy a shirt, buy a pin, and support the Hounds of Hatred as well. Support those kids because they're the future.
All right, that was Stockade on the podcast. Really enjoyed that one. Great conversation. Terry Funk, Mikey Wetbrack, all the guys he's trained with, worked with. Go support him. NYWC. Stockade doing big things. Devil's Outlaw. I'm going to get out of here on some plugs for us. iTunes, make sure you subscribe, like, rate, review, 5 stars, tell your friends, pass the word along. Facebook group page, Electric City Wrestling Fans. Support us, because this is why we're doing this, for you. So just help us out. Thanks.